Hey everyone, it is Patrick. Welcome to Travel Live, the MSC Meraviglia, deck 15, the main pool area. There's a dude over there playing steel drums. I don't know if you can, he's kind of on the other side. I picked a bad spot because the pool is right next to me. There's the main pool. The little statues and everything. He's on the other side over here, like, you can kind of see him on the right side of the screen a little bit there. Getting periods of decent wind out here. Hopefully you can hear me. Couple of minutes early, but it's close enough to 3 o'clock that this works. A little chilly for Orlando and Port Canaveral area, just in Orlando in general. Of course, cold front right about the time that my cruise kicks off. I've got a couple of windscreens on the microphone, so hopefully those will help to minimize the wind noise. Boy, I sure miss my my multi-monitor setup. I'm trying to do everything on one little tiny 14-inch laptop, and it's a little difficult. So I'm like moving things around. The MSC experience is interesting so far. Very smooth process through the terminal. Got here a little early, kind of right when I wanted to. Terminal 10, the parking and the layout is a little weird. When you come around the corner, the parking garage is on the right, but the signage doesn't really make it clear that, like, you know, if you're going to park, you need to go this way. So I went straight as if I was going to drop somebody off at the terminal. And then I had to turn around and go all the way back out and sort of come back in to go into the parking garage. But this was very nice because it reminded me of like pre-COVID days where, like, when there were no like appointment time slots, you pretty much just showed up, and you could essentially start boarding the ship as early as like 11 o'clock in the morning. And so that's what this was. You could board at 11, and they're still out there boarding right now. Yeah, I think it's on that side. I can't tell which side to switch, but interesting mix so far. I can't really tell exactly how crowded it is. I'll find out later when I go to ask somebody from guest services or one of the crew members or something. Some kids, a lot of families, a couple of big groups so far that I've seen. It's kind of a broad mixture. I've heard a couple of foreign languages, non-English kind of thing. Not many, but it's still early. I've only been on here since about 11:30, so. But I definitely like this pool area, man. I'm going to give it to him for this one because this is a nice, big, open, relaxing pool. And on the other side of that wall where the drummer is playing is the indoor pool. So it's like straight that way, and it's nice. I may do the live stream from inside there tomorrow. And then Saturday's live stream will probably be from down on the promenade area. But I don't know, I might do Saturday one from outdoors too. Because between this area and the indoor pool that's over there, it's pretty nice. So hopefully this is coming through okay. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me and see me okay. Looking at my bandwidth meter, it looks halfway decent. It looks like I'm getting a good consistent stream up, so hopefully it's working out okay. The early thoughts so far, this is the layout of the ship is interesting. Parts of it remind me of the Scarlet Lady. Parts of the layout remind me of like Royal Caribbean ships. A little bit of like the Carnival Mardi Gras, just a little. Kind of a mixed bag. at only 170 something thousand gross tons. You know, it's nice. They seem to have made a good use of space. And they didn't make the mistake that Carnival made with the Mardi Gras, where they tried to cram too much stuff on here. So it's nice. It feels like everything has the appropriate size from what I've seen so far. So again, it's still early. I'm still learning my way around and, you know, things like that. So, but yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting is I have a compulsory safety drill presentation. I don't know what the hell it is at 5 o'clock. So I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know if we're all supposed to go somewhere or do something. There is a little bit of there's some stuff in the app where you can watch like a safety video, which is interesting because the video has more stuff in it than I'm used to seeing. It's like over 5 minutes long, and it's all just kind of an animated thing, but it goes into a bunch of other areas that like you don't ordinarily see in one of those videos. So they go into, you know, if there's a man overboard, we're going to do this sound of the horn or whatever. If there's a fire on the ship, we're going to do this one. You know, all kinds of interesting stuff. You know, good to know, but I don't know how many people will actually watch it. So at 5 o'clock, I have to go do this mandatory something or other. And then 6 o'clock is embarkation. We have the Carnival Freedom is in port and over that way. And the Royal Caribbean Mariner of the Seas is also in port. And interestingly, at least I find it interesting, the Mariner of the Seas, which is right over there, is all the way back in the corner of Canaveral. It's not at Terminal 1, which is where Royal Caribbean normally launches from. And Cruise Terminal 1, the big terminal with the big, you know, Royal Caribbean garage and all that, doesn't look like it's being used today. Instead, they're going out of this Terminal 6 or whatever, 5, 6, whatever that is over there in the corner on the side. So, but we're two other ships in port, so we're not scheduled to leave until 6. So I'm not sure what that means in terms of if we get delayed or we actually go out on 6. It's as you can expect, or you can probably imagine, nobody's in the pool because it's cold. Watch says it's 66 degrees. It is breezy, and so nobody's in the water. Now, the forecast for later in the cruise, when we get into the Bahamas and we get to the Ocean Cave Marine Reserve, that'll be better. That's up into the mid-80s. I'm sure the outdoor pool area will be very busy. I like this layout. I mean, I really do. Like back behind me this way, on the upper level, if you look on the camera, you see kind of there's an upper level up there. You see people walking by, right? If you go back that way, the running track is back there. So, because we're kind of like, we're a little bit more towards the front of the ship with this pool area. So, like if you are on the forward elevators, and you come out of the elevators, you come straight into the indoor pool, which is that way. And then sort of midship is where we are. And then back that way is the back of the ship. And so the running track is back that way. And it's, I guess, essentially deck 16. And it's nice. It's a nice big track, you know, 1 lane for running, 1 lane for walking. It's pretty cool. And there's a neat section back there, similar to, remember I mentioned earlier the different like types of ships, right? So similar to the Carnival Mardi Gras that has the Tides pool on deck 16. It's the one back there by Shaq's Big Chicken, right? There's a little tiny pool back there. Well, this one on the Meraviglia has a similar pool that's right at the very back on deck 15. And it's not very big, but it's like a nice big wide open area around that pool. And there's kind of like a little section of seating that's almost like a mini amphitheater like deal of seating around that pool back there. And they've got speakers and everything set up back there, like you could have your own little pool party back there. So it's a nice setup out here. I ran across one area I think on the other side, because it's kind of a neat thing. You see these chairs that are right in front of the camera. I'm sitting. Let me turn this a little bit to the side here. There's a bar right there. So you see all these seats that are right in front of me, right? And then there's some behind me on this same side. Well, there's a similar deal across on the other side, where you can sit over there. You might be able to see the people over there in the camera on the other side. And I think there's a bar also halfway across over there, right? But somewhere over there is a smoking section. So as I was scoping it out earlier, I sort of ran across the cigarette smoke, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to make sure to sit on the other side. But this is a little bit of I don't know if this will make sense or not, but this is a little bit of an a la carte cruise. I've seen it in the stateroom already, where like the mini bar has a whole menu, and a Coke is this, and water is this, and of course this is an Italian cruise line, so they've got still and sparkling. And I got this from one of the bars earlier. This is a nice big 1 liter bottle of spring water. These things were $7 a piece, so $15 for 2 1 liter bottles. But whatever. I'm only here. It's a 3-night cruise. But it seems to be like a la carte pricing, and so like you see, like for instance on deck 6, I've already seen like a little gelato bar down there, and it looks incredibly tempting. There's a lot of good-looking stuff at the gelato bar down on 6, but every single thing down there has a price, and so it's like if you want, this bowl of gelato, it's $5, $6, whatever. So. And of course all the bars. The one thing that's interesting too, speaking of the bars, I don't remember seeing in the app when I went into the MSC app earlier, once I got connected to the Wi-Fi, there is, in the app, there's a way for you to purchase the specialty dining package right there on the spot through the app. But in the same area where it lists like the dining, it says, beverage. There's nothing in there about beverage. And I haven't really seen any signage pushing the beverage packages either. So if you did not buy the beverage package pre-cruise, I guess you could go to one of the bars and have the bartender give you the beverage package. But that's an interesting twist from what I'm used to seeing with Royal Caribbean, where they're kind of like, before you even set foot on the ship, Royal Caribbean's like, here, buy the beverage package, sign up for the beverage package. So MSC is not quite as in your face with it. But what I've seen of the pricing so far, it's not bad. I'm starting to kind of get the sense that with MSC that this could be one of those where it probably is a really good value for the money. And I think I've kind of already heard that / knew that about MSC. But, when you think about, like, I've mentioned this before, pre-cruise, I think during one of the Wednesday Night Live, my fare for this, and I'm an interior stateroom, the Bella category, the lowest one, the most basic category, $247 complete, and that includes the port fees and taxes. Now this is just a little 3-night cruise for one person, but still that is really cheap. And the stateroom is very nice. It's very modern. The ship is new. I mean, relatively new. 2017 is when the Meraviglia launched. But the stateroom is very nice. The marketplace, the buffet, is pretty interesting, pretty nice. It's a big open layout, so to speak, where like you can go all the way around the buffet. And so like if you picture a big area of the ship, and they gave it plenty of size. It's actually on deck 15, I think, back that way. It might be 14. No, I think it is 15. It's back behind me. And so like all of the food stuff is in the middle, and so you can literally walk around the entire outside, different stations of food all the way around. You can sit all the way around, sit in the back. You can sit on the sides, plenty of seating. There also seems to be like a patio back there where you could literally go get food in the buffet and then go out to the back and sit at the back of the ship and eat, you know, where you're kind of like Wake View looking thing, you know, over the, the back and everything. And food was good. Very heavily favors vegan, salad, healthy. They have a couple of areas that are labeled as ethnic. Pretty nice little dessert section going on. Interestingly, right when you come in from the main elevators on 15, you come into a nice big open area. There's a bar right to your left. Directly in front of you is pizza. So I think, it's still early, but I think the place to get pizza on the ship is like right there in the buffet, like when you first come in. Hey, Maria. Yeah, still working. I wish you were here. This was just a little, you know, try it out kind of thing. But yeah, don't worry. March we'll be on the Celebrity Beyond. So, but yeah, so pizza. Pretty good times on the buffet. You know, they have like, I took some screenshots and I'll post them later on once I get a chance. But the buffet is like 20 hours a day. It's like a huge section in the morning from like 6 a.m. to, I don't know, 10:30 or something like that, right? And then they shut it down for like an hour or something like that, and then boom, it's right back open for lunch. And then it's open for, you know, till mid-afternoon or something like that, and then it's shut down a little bit, you know, for a while or whatever, and then it's back open for dinner. And so the buffet, the Marketplace buffet on 15 on here is open like most of the time. So pretty nice. I can't wait to try that pizza, because when when I first walked in, the pizza's like right there, and you're like looking at the pizza, and I was like, well, I don't want pizza for lunch, at least not today. So it's breezy out here. This reminds me a little bit of the Mariner of the Seas in January of 2022 when we came, and it was like Port Canaveral was kind of like, you know. I would definitely go on MSC again. Yes, I would definitely go on MSC again. It's, you know, they do a couple of interesting things, like little things, right? But I try to notice everything. My CPAS card, or my MSC card, does not have anything that indicates what room I'm in. So, like, when I got the oh, by the way, I got the card in the terminal, which I like, and it was not like stuck outside my door at my stateroom. They actually gave it to me in the terminal. They assigned me the Panorama Restaurant, Deck 6, 830 seating. I'm already at table 603. I like how they did the internet, because I signed up for the internet ahead of time. So they put a internet ID on here, which made it super easy to sort of register a user account, you know, to do the internet. Get us booked for next year. Yeah, we'll have to find out when, because yeah, a lot of stuff going on for next year. So Assembly Station A, which I don't quite know where that is, but yeah, see, it says like Deck 10, and it has an ID number, and there's a barcode on here that can be scanned, and it tells you I don't know what that was all about. It tells you, like, you know, we go 11:17 to 11:20, and that's it. There's nothing on here that indicates where the stateroom is. So you have to know, like, oh, I'm in such and such on such and such deck. It does tell me Deck 10. But, oh, and Maria, you'll like this. They punched the hole already in the corner. So I think that was a thing back in the day, about, you know, having somebody punch the hole in the cruise card. But yeah, I would do it again. But so I like that. I like that the terminal process was easy. It was fast. You know, the parking garage set up at Terminal 10 at Port Canaveral was nice. You know, super easy to get in. kind of a little more old school, where they give you the parking ticket like when you first go into the garage, and then you pay for the parking at the end. Whereas like the Royal Caribbean garage, you have to pay for it like when you first get there. Carnival does that too, I think, in garage number 3. So that was nice. Security was fast. Yeah, the card hole punch. Yep. Yeah, just without asking, they just did it. It was just the lady in the terminal. She was super nice. I thought I had a serious problem with security, because, you know, my carry-on suitcase, right, is just loaded with electronics. I mean, it's like, you know, the laptop, I don't know how many different cameras, 2 different battery packs, cables, just stuff, right? And mixed in there are 2 different power strips. Now, they don't look like traditional power strips. They look like little cube-looking. One's a cube-looking power strip that, you know, it's got 3 plugs just kind of on the sides, and then another one is a European one that runs off 240. I went ahead and brought that one just in case, because I knew that, like, this ship would have 240 outlets that I could plug into if I needed to. So I have 2 different power adapters. So it goes in the belt, and the guy is, you know, you can tell he's looking at it and everything. And I told the guy, the first, there's just 2 people there. There's one guy looking at the screen doing the checking, and there's another guy, you know, moving the stuff through. And the guy moving the stuff through, I told him, I said, there's a lot of electronics in here. And, you know, so he just pushes it on through the belt, and of course I go through the little metal detector and all that. And I can see the guy sitting there looking at the screen, and he's looking and he's looking and he's looking. And thankfully there was nobody behind me at the moment, because it was kind of a relaxed deal going through the terminal. And I'm like, crap, he's gonna like want to look inside this thing, because it is just packed. And he almost starts to go call somebody over to the screen. Like, I can see him come out of his chair, and he stands up and he's looking around like is there like a supervisor he can call over? And so he lets it go through. And so when it comes down to the end of the thing where I can pick it up and, you know, set it on the ground, he comes around from behind his little screen, and he says, you know, sir, there's something in there that looks like a gun grip. Can you show it to me? And I'm like, oh, that's the grip for that I mount my camera on. So thankfully it was right in the front where it was easy to get to, and not in the main compartment. So I take it out and I show it to him, and, you know, he can, once he sees it, There's like a little Insta360 camera that's connected to it, and it's a grip, and he even like holds it in his hand and realizes that, like, okay, it's not anything dangerous, and then that's it. He's done. He's gone. And he goes back to his thing, and I'm like, because when we were in Copenhagen, Denmark, my wife's power strip, Maria's power strip, got confiscated because it was a round power adapter, power strip looking thing where it was a little more obvious of what it was, and the dude in Copenhagen confiscated it. Now, thankfully, I had all of my stuff, and so she was able to plug all of her things into my stuff, so we were good. But after that in Copenhagen, I'm like, man, please do not let this guy want to look inside my carry-on with all my stuff. And he goes digging through there and comes across my power adapters. So, no, it's the same grip. Once they like they see it and realize that it's, you know, just meant for a phone, that, you know, yeah. And I was like, I didn't let on, but I was relieved when that's what it was. When he was just wanted to see the grip for the camera, I'm like, thankfully, yeah. Here's the grip. Here, hold it. So, if the weather was just a little bit warmer and not quite as breezy, it would be like spot on perfect out here. Yeah, the weather at Canaveral is really good. Hardly a cloud in the sky. So, but I'm getting so much breeze through here that I'm like, actually starting to get a little cold. So, but yeah, so far the experience on the Meraviglia is very nice. 8:30 dinner tonight, which is kind of late, but not much going on tomorrow. I did notice on the app that they actually shifted our schedule, because the original schedule for this cruise had us getting into Ocean Cay. Move this camera around here. Let's see what else we can look at. We got some stuff back over here. The original schedule had us getting into the Ocean K Reserve tomorrow at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then staying overnight, and then leaving on Saturday at like noon. And apparently they shifted the whole thing back to where now we don't get into the Ocean K Reserve until like 10:30 tomorrow, but then we don't leave to come back until Saturday at like 4:30. Like 4:30 is the all on board time. So that works well. I think I planned the live stream at 5 o'clock on both Friday and Saturday because I was thinking, based on the original posted schedule, that those would be good times. So 5 o'clock on Saturday might be right around the time that we're leaving. So I don't know. I may have to, I may move that one up. So Saturday's live stream might be at 3 o'clock instead of 5. So we'll see. Tomorrow, I think I'll keep it at 5, but may have to call an audible for Saturday. But yeah. Oh, there are some very nice whirlpools on here. They're sort of hidden away, but if you look, I'm actually pointed at one. If you look at the camera, in the center of the screen, on that upper level where you see the people walking past, they're actually walking right by one of the whirlpools right now. There's one guy that's sitting up there. You see him kind of raising his arm up, waving his arm around a little bit. He's sitting on the outer edge of one. And so it's a pretty decent sized whirlpool. I'm not sure how many people will fit in there. So there's one there. There's one directly across on the other side on that same level. If you go forward into the enclosed pool that's straight ahead, there are 2 of them, I think, inside there that look really nice because that whole thing in there is enclosed. So it's like a enclosed whirlpool where you're kind of out over the side of the ship. So those are in there. And then you have, I can't remember if there are any more that way or not. There's at least 4 that I can think of right in this immediate area. They're not like super obvious. They're just kind of there on the sides of the ship, you know, and they don't really take up a lot of space, but they look pretty nice. The ones up there kind of remind me a little bit of the Scarlet Lady, the one that you see in the camera straight up on that upper level. It reminds me a little bit of what they did on the Scarlet Lady for Virgin Voyages, where it's a little bit off to the side and sort of out of the way, but like right on the edge of the ship. Like Carnival Mardi Gras, when they did theirs in the Serenity, they didn't have them right on the edge. They had them more towards the center, which was kind of a weird place. So these, you can sit there in the whirlpool and look right over the edge. So I know you can probably hear the music, hopefully. There's guys still over there playing the steel drums. He's been going for a while now. When I first came out here, it was about an hour ago, and he was already playing, had been playing for a while, so. And of course I say that and he finishes the song. And then there's, let me turn this around this way so you can see it. All right, so that upper level in the camera there, all right, if you look right in the center, there's a set of steps going up, and you see people walking up the stairs. So that is the area above the enclosed pool. So the pool is that way, kind of on the other side of where the guys play in the steel drums. And so when you go up on that upper deck, you can go down the sides of the pool, and there's an area up there where you can lay out. And it's not like super big, but it's kind of an interesting little area where you could kind of go up there and be off to yourself a little bit. You know, right now they have all the loungers put up because not a lot of people are out there laying out in the sun. But I walked up there earlier and kind of checked it out a little bit. And that reminds me of, let's see, that reminds me of the Odyssey class on Royal Caribbean. Like when we were on Ovation to the Seas, it had a covered pool, and the roof of the covered pool Actually, you couldn't get up to above where the roof was, so this is a little different, but kind of that same concept of covered pool area. So, like I said, it's like I see this layout, and it reminds me of like this part from this ship, this part from this ship, this part from this ship. The interior of this, by the way, just like the whole everything indoors, like all these areas by the elevators and just everything, it's very modern. It looks very similar to like a hotel. Maria says, what time is sail away? It is 6 o'clock. Sail away is 6 o'clock. So thankfully they're going to do this demonstration thing at 5, and then hopefully we get that out of the way, and then this is going to be one of those ship layouts where the best sail away view is going to be back this way on the back of the ship, because I don't think I can go like up there going forward. You can't get a good bow view. So I guess I'm going to record the sail away from back here. That little pool I was telling you about earlier at the back of the ship, I'll probably record from back there. So any word on passenger counter occupancy? No, not yet, but I haven't asked anybody. I've barely spoken to any crew members so far. The ones in the buffet were very, very nice. I talked to a couple of them as I was eating lunch. I stopped by one of the bars to get these bottles of water, of course, talk to somebody there. And that's it. I haven't really interacted with any crew members yet, so I haven't had a chance. So the guest services desk is way down at the bottom level of this huge atrium, which is pretty neat. Oh, yeah. The security thing. Oh, my God. So there's a compulsory safety demonstration, something or other, at 5 o'clock. And I don't know exactly what it is or where it is. It doesn't really say. But there was, in the stateroom, there was something on the bed in the stateroom, like one of the pieces of paper from MSC. And it basically was kind of like, not quite like a cruise compass from Royal Caribbean, but in the ballpark of that. And it talked about that. And it had it like in bold letters that it was compulsory, 5 o'clock, like a set time. And the app doesn't have any sort of thing in it where you can like, okay, do your, your virtual muster. So I don't know what to expect at 5 o'clock. So it's their safety. It's their, I think it's their version of a muster drill. It's listed as a compulsory safety demonstration or something like that. I took a picture of it. I'll post it later on Facebook. The way that it's worded, but it's appears to be their version of like a muster drill. So I'm not even sure where it is. I'm guessing that we're going to get some kind of announcements. Oh, by the way, we have a female cruise director, and sounds very good. Very nice, straightforward English, no real accent. Hate to say that, but it's true. So that should be good. Some of the cruise directors in the past, English was not their first language, and sometimes there was, a little bit of an accent. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what they were saying, but from her, I think I'm not going to have any problems. So that's always good. It's hard to tell yet how involved they're going to be. Like Carnival on one end of the spectrum, right? They're very active on the microphone, like on the ship-wide deal, and you hear from them a lot. The cruise director, such and such activity, et cetera, et cetera. Royal Caribbean, sometimes, they kind of draw the middle ground where you'll hear from them at the right times for the right reason. Virgin Voyages, Scarlet Lady, forget it. It's like, is this an automated ship? Do we even have crew members on here that are actually piloting the ship? They don't even want you to see uniforms of the officers. So Virgin is one end of the spectrum. Carnival's the other end of the spectrum. Royal Caribbean's kind of in the middle somewhere. I'm not sure how MSC is going to be yet. I'll have to see how that goes. But so it's a little chilly. I am cold. So I think I'm going to wrap up and head back to the stateroom and get back indoors. They were starting to deliver the luggage to the staterooms when I left to come up here. So I'm going to cut the live stream for now. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we will be docked at Ocean Cay. I guess the plan is going to be I'll get off in the morning as soon as we dock, walk around a little bit, come back on the ship, in time to set up for, live stream. Not sure where. They do have some chairs on that upper level, so depending on how the weather is, I might try to do, see, it's really windy all of a sudden. I might try to do a live stream from up there, where you see that upper level up there. I don't know, either that or I'll do in this same area, but I'll get over by the glass to where you can see, the Ocean Cay Reserve kind of in the, out in the distance and everything. So that'd be 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then Saturday, I don't know. 5 o'clock is, now it's looking like on 5 o'clock on Saturday is going to be right around the time that we go to leave the Ocean Cay Reserve to come back to Canaveral. So Saturday I might push it up to 3 o'clock. So stay tuned for that, but make sure you're subscribed to all of the different things. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on so you know whenever I go live. If you're on Facebook, then follow us on there and do all the usual stuff on Facebook. We're on Twitter also, so be sure to retweet this and follow us on Twitter and so on and so on. And yeah, it is 3:30, so I think I'm going to cut it here for now. And I'll get some stuff posted on Facebook a little bit here and there this evening. So be on the lookout for that. And until then, I will see you guys tomorrow from Ocean Cay Reserve. And Maria says have some pizza. I will do that. I will definitely have to sample the pizza tonight. So this is an Italian cruise line, right? So you would hope that the pizza is going to be good. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow.